Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do this cute little pumpkin jar. I'm going to brush on some green mica powder onto the stem and the leaf, and then clean that up with a little bit of alcohol on a Q-tip. And now that that's all done, I'm going to try something different. I'm going to put candy corn inside this pumpkin mold. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if the candy corn is going to melt, if this is going to bubble over and be a disaster and turn into a witch's cauldron. Let's find out. I wasn't sure what way would be the best. If I should mix the candy corn in with the resin, or if I should just put the candy corn in the mold to begin with and then pour the resin. Either way, I knew I was risking having bubbles, big bubbles, just because of the gap from the candy corn itself. So I did mix it in with the resin, gave it a squirt of alcohol, and started scooping it in there. I did have trouble. Of course, I had to add some crushed crystal, give it some pizzazz. I did have to push it down, the candy corn down into the base of the jar, and I end up using my fingers to shove it down there better. I'm trying oh so delicately to guide the candy corn down there with the stick. I was worried of breaking the candy corn, melting the candy corn. Wasn't sure how it was going to react because it is all sugar, and once that resin started heating up, all I could envision was it melting. So I get it in there, and it seems like it's never ending. I end up using my fingers, moving it around, sticking it down there, filling it up a little bit more with resin once I got enough candy corn in there. Well, as much candy corn as I could get in there because it was starting to misshape the jar. So I was trying to be careful. I don't know what I'm doing here. Not sure how it's going to turn out. Really, everything I do is just an experiment. And here I was like, these candy corn are too big for the lid. How am I going to do this? So I pour a little bit of resin down into the stem so I don't get any bubbles. And I do give that a little squeeze. Make sure there's no bubbles in there. It's all the way down in there. I knew I wasn't going to get candy corn into the stem. And that's fine because I had mica powder, so you wouldn't have seen it anyway. So I get that filled up and squish it around. So I decide to fill the lid, and I'm going to go around the edges of the jar lid to make sure there are no bubbles in those curves. Go around it with my silicone tool, and I do get a couple little bubbles out of there. I'll give each one a little squeeze as I'm going around also. Okay, so here's when it starts. I put in the candy corn. I think, all right, I want to put it into the leaf a little bit further because the leaf has a little bit of a bump out. So I'm thinking the fat end of the candy corn will fit into it, and I could just leave the skinny tip of the candy corn sticking out from behind the leaf and you'd be able to see it. Nope, not gonna happen. So I take that candy corn out of there, and my brilliant mind says, let's just break them into pieces. So that's what I start doing. So off camera, I cut up the candy corn with my scissors and make a disastrous mess. And I forget to put my PPE back on. Always wear your gloves. So I get that all filled up, move it around, stick it where it needs to be, hope for the best. Let's see what happens. The moment of truth has arrived. So I wiggle and squiggle and get the top started out. And lo and behold, I get a big bubble. It's okay, I can fix it. It actually looks pretty good. The leaf looks good. Wish it was a little more sparkly, pointing out the big bubble. I wish I had gotten a little bit more candy corn in there, but it is what it is. It's an experiment. And we get the bottom out. This doesn't come out really bad. I was surprised. There was no melting of candy. I figured it was going to be just a blobby mess inside there. After the resin heated up, I figured, yep, it's going to melt the candy. It's going to be gooey. It'll never cure. But it actually came out pretty good. Now look at this as I turn it. Those candy corn floated on the bottom, so they are sticking out of the resin. I am going to fix it. But first, I need to fix the top. I'm going to take a piece of painter's tape and I'm going to just run it along the top so I can fill in that big gaping bubble with some UV resin and put it under my light. All right, we're going to build up this edge and give it the round scallop that it needs. So I'm going to drop in a little UV resin, really run it along the painter's tape itself and just form that scalloped edge. And I'll try to get it to the thickness of the rest of them, but it won't really matter, just as long as the top is equal, sticking out equally, I guess. All right, so I propped that up under there, and as it's finishing, I thought, okay, let's try to tackle this bottom. So I grabbed the handy dandy Dremel tool, and I am going to sand down these candy corn that are sticking out. Now make sure you're wearing eye protection if you have to do this. These candy corns shot everywhere. As you can see, I had quite the mess to clean up. But on the upside, the candy corn did smell pretty good. It gave a nice, sweet, sugary scent through the room. You just had to watch out for shrapnel everywhere. Once I get that done, we'll take a look at the top. That filled in pretty good. It looks even. The edges seem smooth. I do give those a little sand down for the one that I filled in. Now we're going to try to UV the bottom of the jar itself where I had to sand down all the candy corn, because now we have some massive divots that need to be filled in. So I'm going to spread some UV resin, try to even that out, throw that under my UV light, and get a flat bottom so it sits nice and flat and level. I do end up running this under the UV resin light for probably 3 or 4 minutes total. And voila, it is done. Nice and smooth, nice and level. The lid fits good. It actually looks pretty good, all things considered. I did have a few challenges, but we overcame them. Not sure what I would do to finish this up. I was thinking maybe gold marker. I don't know. What would you have done? I think it looks pretty good. Candy corn experiment complete. Have any of you done candy corn in a mold? Let me know. Here's some final pictures, and thanks for watching.